All right, guys, I have another large wildcard watch here from NOVE. This is the Atlantean, and it's using the abalone dial on this, but there's some weird trick things going on with this, besides the fact that it's like this large, you know, flashy type watch. Yeah, I know it's not going to be a lot of people's taste, but if you stuck around for 25 seconds, stick around a little bit longer because I'm gonna show you some really interesting features on this watch that it would be really cool to see, maybe even other less bold watches as well. But this one is, you know, I'm sure a lot of people's style for sure. Maybe not yours or mine, but let's talk about it. Let's share. So first off, case size 51 millimeter wide, but that's including everything. So I just went for it, 51. The lug to lug is a 56. It's only 14 millimeter thick. I say only 14 because those other dimensions, 14 is actually pretty thin. You do have the date magnifier up top as well. I did not measure that. A 7 millimeter crown, and in its current configuration, it weighs in at 255 grams. It's not sized up for my wrist, but a couple links out probably isn't going to make that much of a difference. It's a heavy watch. So it has an on-the-fly micro adjust there, and simple fold over stamped clasp, milled center section. You know, that's all just pretty much standard fare, pretty inexpensive but effective. It works just fine. Display case back showing you the Ronda R150 automatic movement. Very solid, nice movement that they put in there. It is Swiss made. I believe this is sapphire crystal even on the back with AR coating, as well as sapphire with AR coating on the front side. In case I didn't mention, here's the part number. I will put a link in the description, as I will also put a discount code, random 10 code for 10% off. This one also comes with a free gift when you purchase it. It's a NOVE branded UV torch. So you can like charge up. Typically like a UV flashlight is what you want to use, and it'll light up like UV light, and it'll supercharge the luminous on these watches. Kind of fun, or maybe you just want to do it right before you go to bed or something like that, and it'll glow like a torch all night long if you have good lume, which this one does. It's using CL3 lume, I think. It's not one that I'm familiar with, but it's very, very bright. So let me give you a wrist shot, and then I want to do close-ups. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. Of course, I did not size it. You're definitely going to want to size this and get it nice and snug on wrist if you're going to pull this off and not have it flop around too much, because it is heavy. So, but it does curve and fit the wrist really nice. Surprisingly, for a 51 by 56 millimeter watch, it actually hugs the wrist really nice. All right, let's zoom in on this. And before I do that, I got to show you this. So this is a lever. You pop this open like this, right? Okay. And then you can turn the bezel. But the bezel, this outside here, doesn't turn. You're seeing that, right? It's bidirectional, and you can feel the clicks in it. It moves these numbers just underneath the sapphire. I have not seen that before. That interface is interesting, to say the least. So, and there you go. And then you can just go ahead and lock her back down. So, all right, let's zoom in. We're gonna go all the way in because I want to show you some stuff. So first of all, beautiful dial, nice large legible handset, date magnifier, not super strong, and then of course you can see those markers. They're not really indices, because your indices you're really going to use on the outside here, because those don't move, so those are going to be your indexes. This in here is your diving time bezel. It's not a bezel, it's diving time mechanism underneath the sapphire. It almost looks like those numbers are applied to the bottom side, but they're not. They're on some sort of ring, and they're just protruding out so you can see them. And if you look, let's see if I can get you in there. If you look, where's my pointer? If you look right up in there, it's hard to see, but you see that gear? That's your gear. So when you're rotating it, that's the gear that interfaces with that mechanism that is holding these markers and that spins. So very interesting to say the least. And I know I didn't talk about the specs completely. This is a 300-meter water depth, but no one is going to go diving with this. And then you have an interesting case as well, where you can go all the way through. It has pass-throughs, the way the case is constructed. There's multiple pieces. This is like bolted to the mid piece, I think. I have not seen that done before, and I think it's awesome. Here's a closer look at the movement in the case back. Really well done on that. All right. The price on this, $690, but then you're going to get a discount and everything like that. So who buys this, right? I know a lot of you guys are going to probably hate on it because it is gaudy, fashiony type watch or whatever, but using interesting mechanisms and components. So it's a little confusing, right? I don't know, wild card maybe, I could see if you were doing meetups with guys that are your watch guy friends, and maybe you said, all right, for this meetup, I want you guys to wear your biggest, gaudiest watch. So that's where you'd maybe add one of these into your collection, where it's like wearing a red hat or something to a meeting. You would wear your big boy watch or whatever versus a red dial or blue dial or something like that for these meetups. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking outside the box. I think that's where it would fit in. Could you daily wear one of these? Yeah, some guys could. I couldn't. There's no way I could. It's a big boy watch for sure. Let's kill the lights because the lume on this, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowingly good. So I'm not familiar with this formula of lume, but it is a absolute beast of a lume for sure. So the hour and minute hand, clearly visible. Second hand, those numbers, your diving time underneath the sapphire, and then even these ones out on this. It's not a dive bezel, it's a time, or your index bezel, I guess. You have to use different terminology. We're mixing terminology on this watch for sure. So interesting for sure. I look forward to seeing the comments on this. Thanks for watching.